Alright, hello. I'm gonna explain this not good Bazel Geese run, but no one really talks or commentates their runs, especially for bow, unless they do and I don't see it. But I thought it'd be fun to do this and show people what people think about when they're running. I'm not really a speedrunner, but I've run like 60 runs. It was pretty fun, so I just want to share my thoughts on how I did this and things I noticed and how maybe other people could do this later. So, let's start. So, in the beginning here, I copied other speedrunners. I figured out you can eat mite seed, then drink dash juice, then do a demon powder, and that will give me enough time to set up the basil geese where I want it. So, I come out here. I'm crawling. I tried to do it earlier, so right here, you see it's walking. So what I want it to do is I want it to be like perpendicular to this wall, because when it's perpendicular, I can do like the 3 hit thing and put it against the wall, and then it'll fall over to a rock pit right here. Um, so one problem is with drinking the dash juice, it gives me 2 extra dodges that I want to use later for stamina. If I drink the dash juice, I can't get it right here because I have to pick up the stone, and by that time it like sort of looks up here, then it turns around over here. So that's probably like maybe 2 or 3 seconds lost, but it's whatever. I'm not an actual good speedrunner, so I take it. It's whatever. I just want to do it to just do it. So that's one thing I noticed. So as you see, it's sort of turning. Okay, never mind. It didn't turn up, but it turned that way. And if I tried to do the wall bang, it either hit here and land over here, or I would wall bang it, it'd land here, but I wouldn't have it softened. So I wait for it to face this way and be perpendicular, so I can soften its head, get it ready to hit with a rock, wear my evasion mantle, and pull the lever. So things like that. So you'll see that coming up very soon. And also grab the rock. Okay, sorry. Before we do that, so what I do right here is I learned this from speedruns the first time, and I use this for other runs too. So you pick up the rock, you shoot the rock on the on like the ground or something. It forces it to do like a looking animation. So you can latch onto its face in that looking animation, and it has to finish the looking animation before it can roar. I did this with my casual 18 Amiel one because I wanted to get a guaranteed wall bang. So I think I did it with bow, but that bow run was really bad. So I do this. I hit the rock on the wall or on the ground so it looks up, and then I want to grab onto that side of the face. So I'm gonna like jump off here and try and grab onto that side of the face so I could do the whole 75 degrees thing and dunk it right there. So that's what you're gonna see right now. Alright, so after I dunk it, I used to do the fly trap. So right now I just have my palico on the Meowcano thing, because honestly, like, you could have it on Coral Highlands. I think that's probably recommended, but I can't really get it to do the buffs I want. Well, then again, I didn't try, but honestly, I did this mostly for consistency, because what happened a lot of the times, like, first I did the fly trappers one with like the flash cages, the mines, and the shock traps. And sometimes my cat would put a shock trap right here, and it'd fall in the shock trap, and it'd ruin everything. So that didn't work. I don't try Coral Highlands because I don't want to gong. That would actually sort of suck, because like if it stands up and it's about to roar, then it gongs. I don't get my agitator, and I don't get the evasion mantle proc for this lever thing. So I just pick I pick this thing so it can keep it really consistent, because I always hate resetting. And then what I'm going to do now is, since it's knocked down, I knocked it down, I'm going to put on my evasion mantle, and I'm going to soften its head. I did the 3 hits with the clutch claw, and since this is a light weapon, now I can soften its head. So that's what I'm going to do next with the evasion mantle on. I was really slow. I put it on a little slow, but thankfully I landed in a really good spot so I could put my weapon away here and roll. So while it's roaring, so there are some times where I get put a little bit too far back here, and I can't put my weapon away and roll. And then it has a free attack on me while I'm trying to pull that, because I have to use time to put my weapon away. So that sort of sucks. So I'm really happy I got to go to its face fast enough to pull the lever while it's roaring. Because it does turn to me right here. I actually thought I was going to get attacked, so you're going to see me roll. I was like, it's over, it's over. So I roll, but it actually works out, and it actually knocks it down. Sometimes it doesn't knock it down, but this one I was fast enough to knock it down. After here, I'm like, okay, finally I can start a run. And thankfully, my cat's actually sort of attacking it, so free damage is really nice, and we take the free damage. This is technically the fastest DPS combo for a bow. For the quick shot, rapid, quick. I really should look more into this, but after that I just start doing like straight up DPS, dash dance, power shot, dash dance, shoot, power shot, dash dance, shoot, power shot, etc. Things like that, because I just want to rack up damage real quick. And then after this, nothing special. I knew about after a couple shots it was going to do its first clagger, and I watched the #1 run for TA, and I noticed he went for the tail first. Instead of doing the head, he went tail. And honestly, I'm probably not going to do this for a while again, but if I could do it, I mess up a little bit at the end trying to stun it, and while the tail softened and the head is not a weak point. But right here I go for the tail because I saw that other runner do it, and I'm like, okay, I think this will lower my time, because the head hit zone, I don't want to lie to you. So it's either, I think it's 30. Hold on. I think it's 30. I'm gonna check on Kiriniko, but the wings are the same hit zone value as a softened head, and the tail is the same weak zone value as a softened wing. So you might as well jump to the wing, because or sorry, not the wing, the tail, because it has a higher softened weak zone. Alright, so the head is 35 for ranged, the wings are 45, and the tail's 55. And the clutch claw does a weakening for 10 hit zone value, I think, and it makes it a weak point. And so that also gives us more crit, which means more damage. So it's already softened now, but if I did it 2 times, I do get at least 2 of these staggers in the run. So I could have kept the head weakened, but I thought I'll get more damage through the tail as watching the #1 runner do it. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go for the tail. But I didn't optimize my run around that, so I do make a mistake later, and you'll see that later. But I sort of panic a little bit. I'm like, what should I do? I knew I was running out of time there, so I just grabbed it. I probably should have like spread shot on the shot before, but I just went and did that. So right now, I just sort of want to play safe and not completely lose it. I've lost so many runs where I just get hit by like a stray thing. I'm not a real speedrunner, so I just do this for fun. I see it's claggered again, so I just do the tail again. Make the ammo there, so I was at like around 10 or 20, I think. Hold on, let me check. I have mine set to all. Okay, 20. I have mine set to all because I know after doing this like 60 times, I knew around this time I'd have it below 30. So I just set to all so I can just make them all right here. And then, so I don't, some people do 1 by 1, I don't know how they do it. So at that point right there, you saw me looking at the head and the tail. I was panicking. I was like, which one should I fire at? Should I do the tail for more damage, or should I do the head? And eventually I lose damage because of that, but it's okay. I think I sell for the head. It runs by me, then I do the tail. and I just do spread shots because I have 2 spread 2 on my evasion. I have 2 spread 2 in my armor, so I should be doing spread more, but I need to be safe at the same time. So at this point, it's basic dodge the attacks, and do damage. I'm a little surprised the evasion mantle didn't proc there, but it's whatever. So I'm just doing damage to the tail and doing damage to the head. Things like that. So here, what sucks about me not being comfortable being so close to it because I'm afraid of getting hit is when it does this stagger, it staggers so far away from me. So it's pretty much like normal shot, grab the tail, and re-soften it again. And around this time, the head is becoming weak because I didn't attack the head at first. If I attacked the head the first time and the second time, it would stay weak. But now the head is hardening up, and I'm only going to get 3 on the tail, so that's actually going to become weaker later. So that's another mistake I made. So right here, I was like, oh, I should hit the head. And I'm like, wait, it's actually not soft right now, or it's becoming less soft. So I'm like, okay, go for the tail, get some more damage in. And at this point, I saw my evasion mantle is running out. So I'm like, okay, get the impact mantle. Now I'm going to try and knock it out. And that's a little bit of my mistake too. Well, I'm going to try and knock it out with its head not weakened. I don't know if I do more knockout damage with it weakened, but I'm losing damage trying to knock it out at this point when I should have had the head weakened. I do damage while knocking it out, but it's whatever. So I put that on, and I just do a dodge because I was like, okay, I might get hit here. I don't want to just get hit. So now I'm like, okay, I need to hit the head while I have the impact mantle, get a knockout. Or else, why did I put the impact mantle on? But its tail's right in front of me, so I think I go first on the tail. So now, as you see, it's facing me. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go pellet the head until I can knock it out. And right here, it's like trying to hit it was so hard in that little place because like I was trying to hit it with like normals with the wings there and the legs are there. So I'm glad I think one of the spread arrows hit it so it can flinch towards me, and now I can put a full power right into its face and then knock it out. So now it's knocked out. I'm like, okay, great. I'm gonna switch. So I only have 8 coatings here. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna switch to close range, and I'm going to. I thought that the head was weak, so I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna do some spreads here, and then after and I'm gonna put some rocks down, so then I can go to the tail and then do like hit the tail, throw some rocks, hit the tail, throw some rocks. But then I figure out that the head's not weak, so I'm like, okay, that's a problem. So then I just go to the tail after my cat, I think, paralyzes it. Because after I commit to the head, I'm like, I need to knock it out again after this, or like it's gonna just run over me again with no evasion mantle. So I'm like, oh no, it's not weak right here. So at this point I'm like, alright, I need to get to the tail. My cat paralyzes it. I'm like, okay, that's good. It's done with KO status. I can start putting KO status on it again, and I can head to the tail. So that's what my thoughts are right here. While hitting it a couple of times, so I can So I took that from a different runner. I should have been closer because all these whiff so hard. It's pretty funny actually. So I go in closer to do it, and then I throw the rocks there, and I'm like, great, I'm not doing well. So after that, I'm like, oh, okay, that's good. I knocked it out again. So, and right now the tail's actually hardening up again. So I'm like, whatever. I know the tail's a really weak point. I'm just gonna keep nailing the tail until I can maybe capture it. Or I think it was definitely softening up around this point. So I'm like, okay, just DPS the tail, get some damage in. Around this point, I'm like, alright, I should be able to capture it. I mess up there. I should have thrown the trank bombs first. This is such a terrible mistake. This is like 8 seconds worth of a mistake. So I mess up because I'm like, oh, I'm going to do damage to it, then throw the trank bombs. That was honestly one of the dumbest things I did, but I don't care enough about trying to redo this. Maybe I'll redo this tomorrow, but I was like, ugh. I was like, whatever. I'm gonna just. I should have done Trank Bomb, then start trying to damage it so it can go into its HP threshold while attacking it in its Shock Trap. I think it's 6 seconds in a Shock Trap or 8. Hold on, I have the. It's 8 seconds, 6 seconds, 4 seconds, 2 seconds. And then Pitfall's 10. So I actually should have put a Pitfall here and a Shock Trap next to it after it gets out of its paralysis. But I don't, and it's whatever. I lose 8 seconds. So if anyone wants to beat this run, which everyone can after they see this, hopefully they can just do a Pitfall and Shock Trap. Or you can do more damage to the head while it's knocked down, get it into 10% range. Or you can honestly just play cleaner than me as well. But this is one thing I sort of wish I did. I was regretting it during the run, but it's whatever. It was fun. I wanted to get under 3:30. That was my goal, and I got it under like maybe 20 minutes or 30 minutes, so I was pretty happy. So right here, I make the mistake. I'm like, all right, I'm going to do the damage, but I already talked about that, so let's continue and then see how I fixed it. So I'm like, oh no, put the Shock Traps down. And I'm like, and right here, this was when I was trying to damage it under threshold, and I couldn't. So I was like, okay. I messed up. Now I have to put the Pitfall Trap down and really hope I did it under time. So I do the spread. I think it gets knocked down somehow. And I'm like, perfect. And then I know the tail's not going to be in it, so I'm like, alright, well now I have to attack the head and the wings. I don't even think the wings are in it. It probably isn't in it. Okay, then I had it under threshold somehow there, which is a little frustrating. But in the end of the day, I got my run. I was really happy. At that point, my heart was beating. I'm like, oh my god, did I do it? I probably didn't. I checked that. I'm like, oh, okay, 329. I'm really happy. So then I'm like, okay, if I want to submit this, I have to actually show the food skills and show all my equipment. So at this point, I'm like, oh no, it's a 20-second timer. I'm freaking out. So there's my food skills. I'm like, okay, where's the equipment? And then I'm like, all right, just go down real quick so I can show everything. And I try to show it a little slower, and I'm like, okay. I try to show the food skills at the same time. I'm like, it's done. It's whatever. And then that was my run. So here's the rewards screen. I guess it's always good to have it. I guess it's a pretty cool kill screen. So here's my 329.26. Oh, I think I said it wrong on YouTube. We'll fix that later. So 329.26, and then I'm like, okay, well I'm gonna grab my armor spheres. I have 1400 because I need to augment all my equipment. I don't play Cookie Clicker. I don't want to farm this mission at all. The only reason I did this event mission is because it's a special arena event mission that I can have forever. I don't use the mods for like repeating special arena missions. So I was like, this is a special arena mission that I can do forever just to practice a speed run. And honestly, it was really fun. I think I'll do more later in the future. Oh yeah, and the armor is just the meta armor from the bow hunting site found in the Discord. So yeah, things like that. So yeah, this is my run. Hopefully you enjoyed the commentary and you saw the play and things like that. So if I ever do more like these, I'd be happy to make a follow-up video with it, telling you what I learned. And of course, I'm going to do more casual runs for my friends just to show how I think about fighting monsters. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you learned something from it. Hopefully you can do your own runs and things like that. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. There's probably going to be like, hopefully there's like 20 people who watch it. But that'd be pretty fun. Hopefully everyone enjoyed this. And see you later.